How do you do it? I mean, when you talk about showing up for gym day in, day out, is it any problem for you mentally, psychologically, to get yourself up for each workout day after day?
No, because I like boxing. So this is what I do. This is what I love, and I enjoy being in the gym. So for me, it's not hard to wake up and come to the gym because I love this.
Yeah,
I
you
love boxing.
Ladies and hey, gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing in level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Hey, kings and queens, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing support, tuning into live sessions, and the premieres such as this. Playback family, what's good? Hey, I appreciate you all, man, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. All that good stuff, man. If you're a new listener, subscribe. If you love the sport of boxing, it's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? This is a place for you. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I do these premieres such as this. And when I just push content, generally speaking, I definitely want to talk about this, There are things, I just want to introduce this, man. There are things that, I don't think is worth my time to talk about, especially the drama and the chaos that sometimes we see in the sport of boxing. Sometimes I mention it and obviously take some time to talk about it, but not, overkilling certain things. And as I said before, and I'm just giving a general introduction of what I do, generally speaking, when it comes to certain content, when it comes to content in general, for new listeners too, you know what I'm saying? I don't waste my time on that stuff, on gossip stuff, and overkilling topics and subject matter. And I try to, I have really, I guess, compared to, when you see general boxing community out there and topics they talk about, a lot of them talk about, kind of the same thing. Not all of them, obviously. Everybody has their unique perspective, but I have a unique angle on things as far as, how I see things, just like everyone else. But the reason why I say is because I want to talk about this in particular concerning what Canelo said. And it's something that's not talked about much at all, and I definitely think this is worth my time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, let me just reiterate, this platform is a no-nonsense platform. We talk about real deal stuff, you know what I'm saying? And of course I cover the nonsense and the stupidity that sometimes we see in the sport of boxing. Gossip and drama and freaking soap opera stuff. I can care less about it, but I sometimes do talk about it because it's part of boxing. It's a sport, you know what I'm saying? It's part of the sport at least. But what the sport wholeheartedly represents at its core, it's not that stupidity. You know what I'm saying? And I think you know what I mean. When it comes to, it's because we're living in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Things are done new, and some of it is a lot of nonsense. And those who are listening and those who understand my platform and those who are new, you'll understand that once you start to get to know what I represent here on the platform and what I refer to when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, generally speaking, I love all fighters, man. I respect them all. Some have popped dirty. I get it. A lot of fighters out there have popped dirty. Canelo's not the only one. Oscar Valdez is not the only one. A lot of guys. Unfortunately, and it's a sad thing that those things, highly taint or minimally taint, just however you view it, the perspective and, of a certain fighter, man. Or, the career of a fighter. And, but I want to talk about this, man, and let's just put all that stuff aside, okay? Let's just put all this, clenbuterol, all this stuff with Canelo. Now, I got to make this clear. This is a non-biased stuff platform, you know what I'm saying? Non-biased platform. I just love the sport of boxing, and it's simple as that. All fighters, I see them all the same. Some are worth more credit, others not worth much credit as other fighters, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just going to put, and as I always do, as I applaud fighters, when they deserve it, I also criticize them too. And I can care less who it is, okay? I just got to make that clear. And I just love the sport of boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? And let's put all this clenbuterol stuff and, Canelo, what he's done in the past, the controversial, I guess, moves he's made throughout his career, which I criticized too some time ago. But as of late, I like this, man. I like what Canelo said. You know what I'm saying? I like what he said. And, generally speaking, when it comes to Canelo, I've said it several times, man, many times, and those who are just rocking with me, you really don't know, but you'll discover me out, you know what I'm saying? For the new subscribers and new listeners, but those who rock with me since day one and who have been rocking with me for a minute, y'all know what I'm talking about. I want to highlight this, man, Canelo, what he said, and maybe you're thinking, why is Bud Crawford and Ennis here? There's no freaking space in these little thumbnail pictures, you know what I'm saying? To put all the fighters in there that I think are, worth putting here. It's just no freaking space in this thing. But and I'm not to the point of doing video editing and things of that nature. I can, but once again, the time. I have no freaking time, okay? So I just, pop out content as I can, and as I, keep grinding, obviously, and I don't stop pushing the content and doing live sessions and that nature. But sometimes I just do videos like this primarily. Maybe in the future, eventually, I'll do some editing, video editing and things of that nature, because we can definitely do that, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I can put all the fighters, more, in clips and things of that nature who deserve to be on it. But on these thumbnails, there's no room, okay? So just so you understand. Because can you believe that we're in a generation now who actually think, oh, you didn't put so-and-so in there? What, you hating now? Man, shut up. We don't have time for that, okay? I've said that time and time again, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a fluffy, pillowy generation. This is not for that kind of people here, okay? So this is a platform for people who love the sport of boxing genuinely. And what the sport of boxing represents, ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, at its core, is a snippet of what Canelo said, and we gotta respect that, ladies and gentlemen. Shouts out to the FightHype.com, if I'm not mistaken, who pushed that video. Link in the description of that clip, of that audio clip that I used from FightHype.com. The link is in the description. Okay, we gotta respect this, ladies and gentlemen, and this applies to several fighters out there. I got several points I want to talk about here. First point is this. If you didn't see that video, go check it out. Link in the description one more time, okay? Canelo, man, as of late, like I said, I have grown more respect for this guy. Generally, I do respect him. But like I said, I've criticized him too before, But as of late, I got my respect for him, First and foremost, let's talk about this. Like I said, we got to put all this controversy aside, because anybody can nitpick at anybody's resume. Anybody can nitpick at anybody's resume, and Bud Crawford is here. Oh, I don't even have to start with him when it comes to nitpicking at his resume. I'm not going to talk about that, though. What I do want to talk about is the work ethic and what these guys represent. And what a lot of fighters out there, several fighters out there, maybe not a whole bunch, but several fighters out there who represent the same, ladies and gentlemen. Work ethic, and we got to respect that. And that's what this video is about. Canelo getting interviewed by this, guy in Fight Hype, whatever. It's amazing, man. This is just freaking amazing. We got to respect this, ladies and gentlemen. Fighters who have this type of mentality go far, and they do amazing in their careers. What mentality? When he was talked about, several points were talked. That's a great video. Check it out, please. Great video interview with Canelo. Great questions were asked. Shouts out to that reporter guy or whoever that dude is. On FightHype.com. Several questions were asked. Obviously, the Canelo fight and Plant fight. And it's funny because in the whole build-up, in this press conference, everybody's just that thing went viral concerning the push, them throwing a couple slaps in or whatever, slap boxing session there. Caleb Plant getting cut under the right eye or whatever, right? In that press conference, I mentioned this, I think in my last video, one of my videos at least, that, certain things stick out to me. Certain things that fighters say stick out to me that maybe a lot of people ignore or don't really pay attention to. And one of the things that Canelo said when he was in the press conference with Caleb Plant, he said, you're not on my level, I'm on another level. He's talking about that, he was arguing or whatever with Caleb Plant. And Canelo didn't have much to say at all in that, in that microphone. He's just like, I'm going to do my work. I speak in the ring, but my point is that he said, I'm on another level. What does he mean by that? Obviously he's talking about skills, but ladies and gentlemen, we got to take it a step further. Canelo and all these other fighters, man, right here in the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? You got Bud Crawford, you got Adrien Ennis. There are other fighters out there. You can put the names out there that you want. They're different, ladies and gentlemen. They're different. Pacquiao just retired. I read, but you can kind of foresee these kind of things. I pushed a video like a year ago, at least a year ago, I'm talking about Pacquiao should retire. It's about time, man. He has to leave. And lo and behold, he's retiring now after getting beat by Ugas, you know? So, you know, Pacquiao's another example. Floyd Mayweather, retired for years. Another example. I mean, you could just go on and on. And current fighters that we have out there right now. And these guys in the thumbnail, man, ladies and gentlemen, let's put some respect on their names. Virgil Ortiz, several prospects out there, or whatever contenders you want to call them, right, that are climbing up, that are high in the rankings. They got this hunger, ladies and gentlemen. And Canelo was asked this question: isn't it hard for you? And if you didn't listen at the beginning of this video, I'll leave the snippet at the end of this video so you can listen to it. But link in the description, like I said. He was asked, isn't it hard for you to go to the gym day in, day out, wake up in the morning and go to the gym, blah, 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 whatever he said. And Canelo's like, no. Like, he was like taken aback in how he responded. He's like, no. Like, in other words, of course not. Of course it's not hard for me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we're seeing in this generation, I guess it's been through all these other generations, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of I guess I could say I'm a new generation of the fan of the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I don't go way too back. I'm not an expert. I've said it a gazillion of times. I know the least out of all these experts and other platforms. All these other guys are freaking scholars when it comes to sport of boxing. I'm not. I'm the least, and I don't care to admit it. Call me a casual. I freaking don't care. I just love sport of boxing. That's it. I mean, but why am I saying this? Because I guess I could be called somewhat new generation when it comes to, you know, loving the sport of boxing. Just another fan out there that loves the sport of boxing, and I love what I see in this sport. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sport, man. And the problem that we're seeing nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, is that, you know, you got fighters, man, a lot of fighters out there. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between a fighter who comes in and just fights for a check, and who comes in and fights because they love what they do, ladies and gentlemen. And Canelo, you know, represents what the mindset and passion and heart of these guys, of this few and far between fighters that are really grinding out there in the background. They're not in the media all the time. They're not, you know, doing viral videos all the time. They're not acting like clowns in the front of the camera just to get attention. No. They're doing the tough work in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Ennis, Bud, Canelo, and the list goes on and on. You know other names. You can put the names you want. You already know. Because I'm sure there are fighters out there that I don't even freaking remember or know that you guys, you know, I'm sure you can think of a few that fit this mold. And not many fit this mold. Lomachenko's another one. You know, I mean, you can, like I said, you can put the names you want. You know what I'm saying? And this is where these kinds of fighters stand out, man. Love them or hate them. Love them or hate them. And like I said, some of these fighters have more to nitpick at and criticize at concerning their resumes and their, you know, the choice of opponents. My focus is really not on their opponents, okay? It's on the work ethic, ladies and gentlemen. It's on the passion, ladies and gentlemen, because those types of fighters are the ones that stand out in the sport of boxing. Not necessarily just because they want to be big megastars, not necessarily because they're acting like idiots sometimes just to go viral. No. Because they genuinely love the sport of boxing. You know, these are the types of guys, ladies and gentlemen. Caleb Plant's another one too. I consider him one too. One of those guys too. Because these are the type of guys, ladies and gentlemen, that, you know, they're constantly training. Yes, I know there's something that's called overtraining. I really don't know that. I'm not a freaking nutritionist. I'm not a freaking coach and strength and conditioning coach. That's for the coaches to figure all that out. I don't know, and you know, that's not my problem. Okay. There are fans out there that break that stuff down to a T. I don't know. Okay? I freaking don't know. But all I know is this. These guys love the sport of boxing. And I love what Canelo answered to that reporter guy. You know, the reporter guy, you know, he asked him, you know, isn't it hard for you to do this? Isn't it, you know, day in, day out, go to the gym, wake up in the morning, you know, train and work out? And it's a trip, how Canelo answered. He said, no. He says, I loved it. You know, I'm paraphrasing obviously what he said, but I love what I do. You know, and when you generally apply it to your life, you know, it's not a torture to love what you do, ladies and gentlemen. To do what you love, sorry. It's not a torture to do what you love. It's not slave stuff. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm getting, you know, it sucks. No, of course, you know, blood, sweat, and tears is the phrase, right? But you're doing it joyfully. You're doing it because you love it. You're sacrificing it because you love it. And that's what Canelo talked about. That's just amazing. That little snippet, man, like I'm saying, sometimes what fighters say in interviews, man, it just sticks out to me. It sticks out to me, and it's definitely worth talking about because they show it in their actions. they're not the type of guys that just blab away, I'm going to fight you, I'm going to fight this guy, I'm going to fight the whole world, and freaking just do a small percentile of what they actually say. You know, I got to respect these guys. And I say guys, plural, and women, queens out there. And you already know names, you know, in female boxing. Less talk, more action. Actions speak louder than words, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fighters out there, man, that, you know, they just come in for the check, mediocre performances, and they speak too much. And they have a big head, and they're trying to show more than what they really are. Okay? What's going on? What am I trying to say here? There's just a quick couple examples out there. Adrien Broner, okay, as of late, I'm not saying generally in his whole career, no, but everybody knows the story there. But what's the point I want to talk about concerning Adrien Broner? Concerning Teofimo Lopez, what he just recently said. Concerning Chris Eubank Jr., also, if I'm not mistaken, what he recently said. All these interviews, you can just go find it out. Find it out on the internet. Everything's in Google. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I don't have time to go out there and look for everything, a little specific interview of what they said. I know they said it because I saw it, and, you know, I saw it with my eyeballs. I heard it with my ears on YouTube, whatever interview it was. You know, Adrien Broner, you know, and I talked about it too on my channel. So, I mean, y'all can go find it out there somewhere. You know, one of my last videos on Adrien Broner, I talked about one of his interviews that references what he said. Okay, so he said something like he wants to fight 3 times this year. It is now freaking October practically. You know, this is premiering on the last day of September, but, you know, whenever you listen to this, it's, by the time now it's October, whatever, 2021. Adrien Broner at the beginning of 2021 said that he wants to fight 3 times this freaking year. Nothing happened. Just one fight. You know, I think he even lost. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know who won. I really don't care. I think he lost, but, you know, AB is AB. But what I'm trying to say here is that he said he wanted to fight. And this is funny because these guys are coming out recently. Teofimo, you know what I'm saying? Chris Eubank Jr. Are they trying to copy these? You know, because these guys are starting to come out and blab away and say, oh, you know, I want to fight twice this year. I want it 3 times this year. Twice this year? What the heck you mean twice this year? You know what I'm saying? Fighters shouldn't be saying I want to fight twice this year. You should be saying I want to fight more, as much as I can, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Ennis. Another example out here, ladies and gentlemen. Look how many times he's fighting, ladies and gentlemen. Look how many times, you know, Virgil Ortiz. Look how active these guys are. Because they mean business. They're not playing games. They're not playing the buffoonery out there. And, you know, I've said this time and time again. Renee Boxyoung, ladies and gentlemen, this is a platform. You know, we're doing new things here, and we're talking new things. And, you know, there's community out there that's tired of the buffoonery in the sport of boxing. And this is why these kinds of guys, these kinds of fighters are gaining a lot of traction and gaining a lot of attention from the community. You know, from real fight fans who just genuinely love the sport of boxing, you know? Because they see the passion, they see the heart, they see that they're active, they want to get in there, they're constantly in the gym, they're staying in shape. They're staying in shape between fights. Yes, I know, I reiterate, man, there are certain things that we can criticize, you know, concerning their resumes, or, you know, concerning Bud Crawford. He's been out the ring for a minute. But he's not the type of guy to question if he's going to be ready or not for a fight, or who he wants to fight. Yeah, I know that's suspect or whatever, and I don't want to get into that freaking politics stuff and talk. But you know what I'm trying to say here. You don't question Bud Crawford when it comes to his heart. And you know what I'm saying? When he gets in that ring, he's ready 24/7. These guys, you know, stay ready so they don't have to get ready. You know, and I just love what Canelo said, man. He's like, no, I love what I do. I love boxing. And a lot of these fighters out there, ladies and gentlemen, that we see with our freaking eyeballs in the ring, I'm not so sure. Sometimes I question if they really love boxing. Sometimes I question if the sport of boxing is really for them. You know what I mean? You see fighters out there that are fluctuating. You see fighters out there that come in and get a check and they're gone 2 freaking years, and then they're blabbing their mouth off away just to clout chase or whatever they call it nowadays, to get attention and to keep their name relevant. It's like, you know, cut it out. We ain't buying that nonsense. And this is why I respect, man. I respect Canelo, man. I respect Bud Crawford. I respect, you know, and these names that we're mentioning here. And as of late, these other guys are coming out and saying, oh, I want to fight 3 times this year. And it's funny because it's shortly after Canelo said that. And Canelo said that a long time ago, that he wanted to fight 4 times this year. But we all know, you know, the politics and stuff of that nature, you know what I'm saying? They got in the way of Canelo, you know, fulfilling what he wanted to fulfill when it comes to fighting 4 times this year. You know, obviously he's going to have a big fight in Caleb Plant for undisputed middleweight. We'll see who wins. May the best man win that fight, ladies and gentlemen. Because now when we go to Caleb Plant, he's one of those guys too. When do you ever see Caleb Plant blowing up out of shape, ladies and gentlemen, between fights. I don't remember seeing that. And I'm not new when it comes to following Caleb Plant now. And like I said, maybe you don't know that, but I'm not the type of person to do overkill, every single day, do videos on Caleb Plant. No, but I do follow these guys. And you can tell, you can distinguish the real from the fake. You can distinguish the disciplined between the disciplined and the undisciplined. You can distinguish between mature fighters and immature fighters, and who are really about it. You see what I'm saying? And I just had to get this off my chest because, we don't really see that in the sport of boxing. And you just see it amongst a few fighters out there. And what a shame for those. I think it's kind of, to a certain degree at least, I think it's a shame. For example, Chris Eubank Jr., man. I was thinking about making another video on that. I probably will. I'm just not so sure because I really don't think Chris Eubank as of late is worth me making a video on. It's kind of sad, man, because, I've made several videos on Chris Eubank Jr. and the trajectory of my channel. At that time, I think he was really worth talking about. But as of a minute, Chris Eubank Jr., he hasn't been, what's going on with that guy? Pushing all these videos on social media that, he's going to have a big comeback because Roy Jones Jr. is in his corner, trying to prove to the world that he's going to do something. And, last I hear, these names that he's going to fight, possibly in December, Liam Williams, what the heck, are you kidding me? Liam Smith, or whatever that dude's name is. That's not, you know what I'm saying? I got excited a long time ago, and I pushed a video on it when information was coming out from ESPN Knockout, on Twitter, from that source. I wasn't just making stuff up. It was coming from ESPN Knockout, saying that there was rumors of Chris Eubank Jr. Fighting Jermall Charlo. And I was excited about it. But as of late, it just seems like Chris Eubank Jr. is just talking. I want Canelo. I want the top. I want the guy with the belts. And when we say belts, plural, we know who he's referring to. And he's been calling out Canelo for years, but he hasn't been freaking doing it to, making moves to prove he wants to fight Canelo. And I'm tired of that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired of all these guys and their mamas saying they want to fight Canelo. Just hush puppies already with that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You see? And that's where you distinguish the real from the fake, ladies and gentlemen. The real from the fake. Those who want to clout chase and just call out these big names. Caleb Smith, hush puppy. You just want a paycheck. Who cares? No one's looking out for you like that anymore. Canelo freaking smashed you. What the heck's the point of a rematch? He talks about in whatever interview recently, I want a rematch. I want a rematch, Canelo. Shut up, man. You just want another check, man. All due respect, love Caleb Smith, you know what I'm saying? But you had your opportunity against Canelo, and what did you do? You froze in that ring. Canelo freaking punched you senseless in there. Yeah, and I know a lot of people want to say, "Oh, he didn't knock him out, though. He didn't knock." Yeah, be quiet. You know what I mean? By he knocked him. He just punched him. He was punching a punching bag. Caleb Smith didn't perform as he should have. The opportunity went out the window for you, buddy. The paycheck's gone. Okay, you don't think about rematching it. Pulev talked about, I made another video on that too. Pulev talked about, when he fought Anthony Joshua, months, plural, after the fight, if I'm not mistaken. I pushed a video on it. You know what? I had coronavirus. I wasn't performing 100. I want a rematch with AJ. Yeah, right. You just want a paycheck. We see through that stuff, man. You get tired of these guys. These guys who are really under par and aren't proving it, aren't facing the opponents that they should face in order to get that big fight that they want. Dillian White's another example. I respect Dillian White, but because he's constantly grinding, though. I spoke my mind concerning Dillian White, some things I don't like about him, but hey, he grinds, man. I got nothing really to say against Dillian White. The only thing is he blabs his mouth a lot concerning Wilder. But hey, you haven't fought him yet. You haven't fought the top yet. Yeah, you fought AJ, but that was a long time ago. You got smashed. But I respect White. But it gets annoying to where, for example, like Eubank Jr. Getting back to that point that Chris Eubank Jr. talking about there's talks, possibly Liam Smith or Liam Smith, I think his name is, the guy that Canelo fought, white-head guy. You know what I'm saying? The gray-haired guy. It's just like you're not, you know what I'm saying? You say you want the guys with the belts, but no Charlo fights going on. No Andrade fight. Andrade, pronounce that name. Demetrius Andrade, you're not fighting him. I mean, so why are you talking Chris Eubanks? You see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys that aren't really proving it They just blab their mouths off too much, man. Canelo does not represent that, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I want us to respect in these fighters. Like I said, there's a list out there. It's just that there's no freaking room in this thumbnail to show that. But there's a list out there. There's a list out there of these guys, you know, who really mean business, and they're showing it, proof in the pudding in the ring. And in their lives, clean lives also. Yeah, I'm not talking about, you know, guys that drink here and there, whatever, that's their business. But you know the difference. They don't do that party stuff much. They're disciplined. They're in the zone. And these guys got longevity in the sport. They got longevity in the sport, ladies and gentlemen. Look how long Canelo's lasting. He's talking about fighting freaking 5 more years. Ladies and gentlemen, just project that in your mind. How many fights is Canelo going to have in his record as a whole by the time he retires? Lord willing, we see that day. This guy's going to have, like, I don't even remember how many fights Canelo has right now, but he has a whole bunch of fights, man. What, 50 some odd fights? My gosh, that's crazy. Or I don't know how many fights he has, but he has a lot of fights right now in his career, in his pro career. Started fighting when he was 15 years old, pro in Mexico, down south. That's what I'm talking about. Nitty gritty stuff, man. I don't gotta explain the boxing gyms down here, because I've been down here, man. I've sparred, trained down here. I know how it is in these gyms, man. Especially back in those days with Canelo, man. Tough stuff, man. And I definitely gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? And these guys got longevity because the lifestyles that they're living, man. You know, they're about the sport of boxing. They love the sport of boxing. Just how many times do you see? If you follow, you know, Jerome Ennis on social media or whatever, I mean, that guy, he has an old school context, man. You know, he has an old school mentality when it comes to sport of boxing. These guys don't care. They don't care about, you know, being rich, living lavish. Yeah, I'm sure they do, of course. But what I'm trying to say here is that their hunger and drive is boxing, man. And that's just freaking amazing. That's just freaking amazing, ladies and gentlemen. And this is humbly why I think, I made another video some time ago on it too. You got to share it, man. I'm telling you, we're doing new things here at Renee Boxing Up, man. You know, another video I talked about recently was Zab Judah, how he exalted that in Mayweather. You know, Mayweather's one of those few also. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see that much. And let's enjoy what we see in these fighters, because they're not going to be around for long. And but they do have longevity in the sport. You know what I'm saying? I don't know necessarily how much longer Bud Crawford's he's gonna last. But you know, 34, just had his birthday recently or whatever. Happy birthday to the champ, you know. But that's why he has accomplished these accolades that he has accomplished in the sport of boxing, generally speaking. You know, I think it's yet to be proven in the welterweight division, but I'm talking about generally 135, 140. I mean, amazing accomplishments, you know, and it's for a reason, because Bud, man, you know, his work ethic, his mindset, his heart, it's on a different level. Canelo's mindset and heart, it's on a different level. Jerome Ennis's mindset and heart is on a different level. They love what they do. You know, Ennis, getting back to that real quick, when you go on social media and Twitter specifically speaking, he talks about, man, another great day in sparring, another great day strength and conditioning. I loved it. You know, got 10 miles in the bag, and you know, he just loves it. And these kinds of guys, ladies and gentlemen, these types of fighters, they don't just fight for the check. They fight for legacy. They fight because they're for honor. And unfortunately, we don't see that too much in the sport of boxing nowadays. I think we saw it more back in the yesteryear of the sport of boxing, but now we don't see it much. I think it's sad. But I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that, you know, there's a generation coming up of fighters that will have that in them and will fight for that. Because those are the types of guys, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the types of queens and kings, you know, female fighters out there. There's a long list of them too, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? That who really do it for the passion of the sport. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, it's just amazing what Canelo said, man. Like I said, let's look at it from a mature perspective. Let's not nitpick at these guys. Like I said, man, the only thing that kind of sucks with Canelo, and it's not going to erase, and I admit it, you know what I'm saying, concerning Canelo and him popping dirty before. I mean, it is what it is. You know, and I'm not a freaking scientist. I'm not going to get into that. Oh, no, it was just 10 milli, 0.1 milli percentile of clenbuterol, so it really doesn't do anything, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not a freaking scientist, and I don't care. All I know is he popped dirty, and it is what it is. He got suspended. And that's going to always follow him, and that's the thing that sucks, because it kind of, you know, it taints him. But I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, as of late, ever since he, left Golden Boy, and Oscar, who apparently did him not much good, as far as, well, he did him a lot of good, though, as a matter of fact, concerning, promoting throughout the years of Canelo. So Canelo should be thankful for that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there were some shady things that Oscar, did in the business side of, when he was promoting Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the thing, ever since he got independent, and, I did a live session on that some time ago when the news came out, and what my perspective was on that. And, I got to respect Canelo, man. Definitely do. I definitely do. And what's to complain about? For all those who want to complain about Canelo, that he, this and that, his opponents suck and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But what's to complain about? There's nothing to complain about, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Canelo versus Plant. I really do think as of late, Canelo really wants to go for greatness. I'm not saying he never did in the past, but, y'all know the story. I think Canelo wants to prove greatness, man. And love it, man. So I don't want to make this video too long, man. I've been going on 30 minutes. I feel like it's 2 minutes, man. Oh my gosh. Hey, Renee Boxing, what do you think about all this, man? So definitely, man, share this content. I appreciate each and every one of you. Share, like, subscribe, new listeners. Platform we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing and level-headed fashion. Renee Boxing. Peace out. Stay safe, family.
How do you do it? I mean, when you talk about showing up for gym day in, day out, is it any problem for you mentally, psychologically, to get yourself up for each workout day after day?
No, because I like boxing. So this is what I do, this is what I love. And I enjoy being in the gym. So for me, it's not hard to wake up and come to the gym because I love this.
Yeah,
I love boxing.